Assassin's Creed Shadows PC specs, highlighted features, and more. Assassin's Creed Shadows is launching March 20th, inviting you to experience the intertwined stories of Neo, an adept shinobi assassin, and Yasuke, a powerful African samurai. Today, you can pre-order the game on console and PC and read up on Shadows' upcoming expansion on our website page, Claws of Awaji, which brings 10 hours of additional content free with your pre-order. Assassin's Creed Shadows won't arrive until March 20th, but Ubisoft has released a new blog with all the details regarding PC features and hardware requirements. Here is everything you need to know to prepare for playing this year's new Assassin's Creed on PC. Ubisoft's blog reveals that Assassin's Creed Shadows on PC will support ray-traced global illumination and reflections, an in-game benchmark tool for performance analysis, ultra-wide resolutions, an uncapped frame rate, HDR support, and more. For those of you playing on PC, we've got all of Assassin's Creed Shadows' recommended PC specs further down this article. Assassin's Creed Shadows will support ray-traced global illumination and reflections, and will feature an in-game benchmark tool for performance analysis, ultra-wide resolutions, an uncapped frame rate, and more. Spec-wise, Ubisoft recommends running Assassin's Creed Shadows with an Intel Core i5-11600K or AMD Ryzen 5 5600X CPU and either a Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 Ti GPU with 8GB or an AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT with at least 12GB of RAM. These publisher recommendations are for playing Assassin's Creed Shadows with selective ray tracing. To make the absolute most of the graphics with extended ray tracing and a 4K 60 frames per second experience, you'll want an Intel Core i7-13700K or AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D CPU and the Nvidia GeForce RTX 4090 GPU with 24GB of RAM. Selective ray tracing. Minimum resolution/FPS using dynamic resolution and upscaling, 1080p at 30 FPS. Visual settings, low. CPU, Intel Core i7-8700K/AMD Ryzen 5 3600. GPU, Nvidia GeForce GTX 1078GB/AMD Radeon RX 5700 8GB/Intel Arc A5 88GB, REBAR on. Recommended resolution/FPS using dynamic resolution and upscaling, 1080p at 60 FPS. Visual settings, high. CPU, Intel Core i5-11600K/AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. GPU, Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 Ti 8GB/AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT 12GB/Intel Arc B5 80 12GB, REBAR on. Enthusiast resolution/FPS using dynamic resolution and upscaling, 1440p at 60 FPS. Visual settings, high. CPU, Intel Core i5-11600K/AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. GPU, Nvidia GeForce RTX 2078GB/AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT 12GB/Intel Arc B5 80 12GB, REBAR on. Resolution/FPS using dynamic resolution and upscaling, 4K at 60 FPS. Visual settings, high. CPU, Intel Core i7-12700K/AMD Ryzen 7 5800X 3D. GPU, Nvidia GeForce RTX 4070 Ti Super 16GB/AMD Radeon RX 7900 XT 20GB. Standard ray tracing. Minimum resolution/FPS using dynamic resolution and upscaling, 1080p at 30 FPS. Visual settings, high. CPU, Intel Core i7-8700K/AMD Ryzen 5 3600. GPU, Nvidia GeForce RTX 2078GB/Nvidia GeForce RTX 2078GB/Intel Arc B5 80 12GB, REBAR on. Recommended resolution/FPS using dynamic resolution and upscaling, 1440p at 60 FPS. Visual settings, high. CPU, Intel Core i5-11600K/AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. GPU. Nvidia GeForce RTX 4070 Super 12GB/AMD Radeon RX 7800 XT 16GB. Extended Ray Tracing. Enthusiast. Resolution/FPS using dynamic resolution and upscaling. 1440p at 60 FPS. Visual settings. Ultra. CPU. Intel Core Intel i7-13700K/AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. GPU. Nvidia GeForce RTX 4080 16GB. Extreme. Resolution/FPS using dynamic resolution and upscaling. 4K at 60 FPS. Visual settings. Ultra. CPU. Intel Core Intel i7-13700K/AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. GPU. Nvidia GeForce RTX 4090 24GB. Assassin's Creed Shadows will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC when it arrives March 20th.